Kale salad. Is that how people do it? They just talk a bunch of shit and crop and make something that makes somewhat sense. This is not gonna make any sense. Hi, I'm Alex. We're gonna be making some food. I'm going to teach you how to make memorable, delicious food for very little money. And that's what's gonna be happening. Let's make a kale salad. Yeah, thinking it was a fad 5 years ago, but it's real. It's staying, kale is staying forever. And it's cheap, it's delicious, it's nutritious. Anyway, I went to Albies and I went to lessons and I spent, let's see, $9.48 and $8.86 on dinner. I spent $17 on dinner for two. So, let's go home. Make some food. Alright, so here's what I got. 2 bunches of kale. Use whichever one you find. I got some pumpkin seeds. I got a kabocha. If you can't find the kabocha, there's plenty nice squashes at like most grocery store. You can get a delicata, which also doesn't need to be peeled. If you get that one, but in green, like the green kabocha, you need to peel it, and nobody wants to peel a squash at home. 2 red onion, lemon, carrots, oregano. Also, if you find like napitela or marjoram, same like family, all good. Some feta cheese, and then I got a pomegranate over there. All right, here are the essentials. Iced coffee. Ice water. Okay, first off, so let's make the most of our oven. We'll turn it on right now at like broil high, really blasting the flame so it gets nice and hot for when we want to use it later. Let's start with the greens because it's the least fun. And then we're gonna do the garnishes because you just want to get those out of the way because it's the second least fun. And then we'll do the roasting at the end because we want to be able to serve the roasted vegetables sort of nice and warm in the kale. Roasting at the end, and then we'll assemble, and then we'll have the time of our lives eating dinner. Fill up your sink, cold water. This is no precious job, like, you don't need to cut this, just strip it off. Then we'll make sure it's all covered in cold water. If you find your greens are like a little tired looking, put some ice, and then we'll like crisp them up, make them look all sexy again. If you were to, once everything is stripped, I just want to make sure everything is like somewhat of a bite size so it's not so awkward to eat. And I'll do that right now too, so that's out of the way. Take a whole bunch of kale like that. Tear it bite-sized pieces. Alright. Second bunch. So now that the greens are hanging out in there, we're gonna do the garnishes. The garnishes are gonna be really simple. It's gonna be crumbled feta, toasted pepitas, some pomegranate seeds. Pepitas, I'm gonna season them the exact same way that I'm gonna season my vegetables. Depending on if your herbs are tender, sometimes you can use the stem or not. The oregano is a little bit more woody. You might want to pick it a bit more carefully before you chop it up. Alright, so once adding some chili flakes. You can go pretty heavy on the chili flakes because the squash can live up to a lot of heat. Cumin seeds. I'm not toasting them because they're all going to get mixed with stuff that's about to be cooked. And I'm going to do a nice heavy amount of olive oil. So this is going to be the marinade. Alright, pepitas in the bowl. It's going to get seasoned with a spoonful of that herb, spice, oily mixture. And then we'll do a little bit of salt. For these guys, I'm just going to use the BROIL toaster oven, 350, probably less than 12 minutes. We'll start with 7. Layer them nice and flat on the dish that goes in the oven. Squashes, since we don't need to peel that one, we'll just make sure it's nice and clean. And cut it up. Tips. A little bit, you don't need to go crazy. And we'll cut it right in half. We'll start off, if we do flat side down, less risks of like sketchy cut. And then we're gonna cut afterwards. One more wedge. So start by cutting it in 8 pieces. Cut it in 8 pieces. Once it's cut, I'm gonna go ahead and do some sort of like a heavy bias. The only thing I really care about is that they're somewhat the same size. I like the sharp edges because it gives some material to burn. Once it's in a really hot oven, there'll be some more caramelization that will happen around the tip, like this. Now for the onion. I'll just cut up the top a little bit. And you see here the root, right through the root, straight down. Once we have this, then it's really easy to peel. You want to leave as much of the root as possible so it holds its shape together when you cut it into wedges. So you want to cut really just the tip. Alright, once you have this, right down the center again, and then you're going to end up with 4 quarters. For every quarter we'll cut them up again into 8s. Simple, just like the squash. Here the reason why we kept the root, or at least the base of it, is so it holds its shape together like that and we can roast it into some nice quarters. Third thing we're going to be roasting is these really beautiful carrots. These are nice and they're tender enough that you don't really need to peel them. I'll just wash them quick. We're going to do another one of those heavy bias. Every time you cut, turn the carrot quarter turn. And then just cut the tip off. I'm going to cook those 3 vegetables together. That's why they're all sort of very similar in sizes. Alright, once we have all the veggies ready, we'll do cookie tray lined with parchment or foil. Put all our veggies in there. Some salt. And then we'll put the remaining of that herb mixture we made. Try to make one flat layer. Once again, so you get a little bit more even cooking. You want it to be crowded, but not too much. If it crowds too much, it's just going to end up steaming. And if it's not crowded enough, it'll just end up burning. So this is good. So the heating element in my oven is at the bottom, and that's why I'm going to keep it at broil high. And I'm going to put the vegetables straight up on the floor of the oven so it gets as direct of heat as possible. Almost like if you were to cook it in a pan. The pepitas ended up taking exactly 12 minutes. And now I'm going to take some time to dry the kale while the veggies are in the oven. Alright, these guys, I'm getting some good caramelization. Oh yeah. That's what we want. Once the bottom's all caramelized like that, ooh, back in the oven. Bam. Bottom drawer. Fire coming from above. I'm gonna get some nice color up in here. 6 minutes into drawer. Now that the vegetables are out of the oven and I got every other component ready, I'm going to start dressing my kale with some lemon juice, sherry vinegar. I'm going to do 2 splashes of that. If you don't have it, you can sub it with some red wine vinegar, no problem, and some salt. And now it's very important to massage it all together for quite some time. The reason why I start only with acid and salt is so it really helps break down the kale a little bit faster than if you were to coat it with some olive oil first. I keep massaging, add a little bit of salt, and now that I have that, you can let it sit for a couple minutes, no problem. Add about 2/3 of the roasted vegetables to it, and then you're going to fold them in. And now it's going to be time to add some olive oil. All you want to do is add about the same amount of olive oil as you added sherry vinegar and lemon juice. Toss it up, taste it, add some olive oil, and there you have it. Get your 2 plates. The plating is going to be very simple. I'm going to start by just dividing it up into 2 bowls. I'll top it off with some more roasted vegetables on top. Get the nice crispy ones. Crumble feta cheese, toasted pepitas, some pomegranate seeds, and just a drizzle of olive oil. And there you have it. Dinner for 2. If you liked it, like it. And if you subscribe. If you make my recipe, find me on the Instagram and send me a photo, because that will make me very happy. And let me know how you liked it. I don't know how to end this. Does there need to be an end? Goodbye, everyone.